This video is brought to you by Power Performance Products, where you can get $10 off your purchase of Body Storm and Body Effects. Spencer Lazara back for part 2 of MMA Today, joined by Ronda Rousey here at Gracie Baja in Burbank. She just got done with her sparring session. Be sure to check out part 1. Right now we'll be talking about how competitive this young lady is. I'd say you're probably the most competitive person I've ever come across in this sport, maybe even. Talk about where that came from.
Yeah, I had a bunch of sisters. You know, but I was the youngest for a while. I was the youngest of 3 sisters. My other sister's 11 years younger than me. So, I don't know. This has always kind of been. I always wanted to finish my lunch first, and like when I first did swimming when I was younger, I was always placing like state level, but I never like won. You know, and it was when I started doing judo and I won my first tournament, and I really started being like, wow, I'm gonna get first place now. You know, and that's when it really started to like super compound, where I just wanted to do it all the time. You know, and once I got that taste of it, like I couldn't let go of it, you know, and it just got to the point if I ever lost, it felt like dying, you know, like if there's just no feeling like it, you know, it really feels like I'm dying, and I can't describe it, but you just have to hate losing so much, and it just kind of translates into everything else sometimes. If we're eating, I gotta finish my food first, you know. If we're playing checkers, I will like slap that checkerboard across the room. It's like, screw you and screw your checkers. Like if I'm losing checkers, oh my god, I'm bad at pool. If I ever play pool and I'm losing pool, just take the stick away from me. Like at some
We're gonna get a Monopoly game going. That'd be a fun one.
Oh, Monopoly takes too long. Like I'll lose. I can't.
It's like you and running.
Interested.
I remember you saying, I don't like to run. It's too boring.
Yeah.
I want something more fast paced.
Well, like before I hurt my knees, like I used to like running because I had the music, and I'd be like, dude, you know, it was more of like a meditation kind of thing. So now I swim instead. But yeah, a lot of that stuff, like the other day, like if I come in here and I'm fighting, like and I'm mad about something, like it takes so much of my attention that it completely takes my mind off of it, and now when I'm done, I feel better. But like I was pissed the other day, and I went to jump in the pool, and I was just alone with my thoughts, swimming and stewing, and I got out of the pool more angry than I was when I jumped in, you know. So it doesn't have that same therapeutic effect that you know, fighting does.
Yeah. So the first time you remember competing was swimming?
Yes, I started swimming when I was 6, from 6 to 10.
And when did you start judo?
My 11th birthday was my first judo tournament.
And did you win that tournament?
I did, but so they have all the words for the referees tell you're all Japanese. So like you're a little kid, you don't understand. So if you like throw the person, they're like, oh, ippon, you're right on the back, and you win automatically.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's like a smaller score, and you continue onto the ground, and then if you're that age, you can only do pins. You can't do chokes or arm bars yet. And when you do pins, a lot of times they say, oh, saikomi, right? But a lot of the kids, they're so confused because it's their first tournament that the referee says, oh, saikomi, and they get up. You know, because I think they're saying like mate or something else. So it's all these words, right? They haven't learned yet. So my mom's like, I don't care what happens. If you throw that girl and you get her to pin, whatever they do, you don't let them up. Whatever they say, you don't let them up. Because I didn't know the words yet. So I walked right in there and I threw that girl. They're like, ippon! And then they're like, get up. And I'm like, still got this girl in the pin. I hold her out. They're like, get up. I'm like, no. You know, like, get up. And then the referee had to like shake me off the girl. Well, I only had one other girl in my division, so I did it twice. Right away, I threw her, got her in the pin. I refused to get up. And
your first stoppage there. Your first referee stoppage.
First stoppage. Yeah. And then it was one of those tournaments. It was like a cool tournament where the first place winner got a free gi, and second and third got a trophy. But now as a little kid, and having a trophy was a big deal, especially like I told you before, like I'd always get like second, third, fourth when I was a swimmer. So like getting like first was a big deal to me, and they wouldn't give me a trophy. They wanted to give me a gi, and I was like, what? I don't want a gi. I want a trophy. And now it's just like, oh god, you know. Like, I had all these medals in a box. My cat peed all over it. My mom threw them out. Like we don't even care about medals anymore. When I was a kid,
too many.
It was a big deal. It was a kid. I cried about it. I'm like, I want a trophy, not a gi.
Well, you've been spending some time up north training with Nick Diaz and company up there in Stockton, right?
Yeah.
How has that been for you?
It's been awesome. Richard Perez has helped me out a little bit to get like some different kind of striking, a little look at it, and of course like Nick and Nate and Caesar Gracie in their camp, they're so good to me. They're so nice and they're so helpful and respectful, and it's nice to have like kind of like a satellite camp to go to. If I just kind of get stuck in a rut where I'm here, it's just so nice to like change environment, and they have just a different pace and different attitude, and it's not like one is any better than the other. It's just, it's different. And this is of course my home, but I I feel like, that's kind of like my home away from home right now, So I appreciate all the help that they give me, and I'm definitely going to be, spending a lot of time up there for the next camp as well.
Yeah. Specifically, have you really learned anything you can share with us that you really feel like you've learned the best stuff you learned from up there?
Well, Richard Perez has been working with me a lot, and just kind of like with judo, the exchanges are really short. Like you'll go really fast and you just go throw it into the ground, and the referee stands you up and go back to the line. You start over again. And a lot of times my striking as well, I would do like quick combinations and want to clinch, quick combination and clinch. And Richard worked with me a lot with being able to put longer combinations together and kind of string them together, and not just have brain go blank and be like, I want to clinch now, after like one combination. So it really helped me with the fluidity of my striking a lot more.
Okay, now the body issue just came out, of course. You can get it on newsstands now. She looks amazing. And how was that experience for you, Ronda?
It was another one of those. It was all right. When I was there, it wasn't that bad. It was just like, okay, I'd been naked in a room full of people before. Like when I was doing judo, everyone would make weight, and everyone just like, I'm not going to lose the weight of the clothes. Everyone just get naked, and it's cool with a bunch of girls. And one thing that kind of annoyed me was there was one guy back there that was a straight guy, and he had the camera for the behind-the-scenes shoot. And they like swore to me. They're like, "Oh, look, this guy's professional." Blah, blah, blah. It already made me uncomfortable. That guy was in there. And then what's it called? And then they swore to me even during the editing process. No one would see it. No one would see it, right? And then when they released like the YouTube video of the thing, there was a moment in there, like a second, where like you could see like my business, and they kind of left it up there for half the day, and I was just freaking out and crying, and just like, I trusted these people, and I'm just kind of like, it just was another lesson that I've learned in not being so trustful with media. But I mean, I'm not implying that I'm not entirely grateful to ESPN. I'm so happy that they gave me that opportunity, and I'm so happy that like they gave me the cover. I'm nothing but grateful. I'm not trying to imply that I'm angry at them. I'm just trying to say that it's one of the more lessons that I learned along the way the last few months, is to kind of just, even though like I know it was an accident and they had the best intentions, that like sometimes it's just like things are going to happen outside of my control. It's not always going to be perfect, and I could just roll with it, and when things go wrong, just hope it blows over, and just trying to be a good person in general, and things will find a way to work out.
What's your average daily diet like?
I have like an intermediate fasting, so I don't eat for like 16 hours straight, like every day. I eat only like a meal at night. I kind of like eat between like 4 and 10 now. Like I'll have something small at 4 and like one meal like around like 10 or so, and it's usually like some sort of protein with veggies and like some kind of healthy carb like yams or whatever. I can have like berries all day. I'll have like maybe like nuts or avocado in my meal. It's like, and like all my supplements and stuff are all pretty much ground up plants. Like I don't like anything that comes from like a lab or whatever. I think the Kaspari like branched chain amino acids, I take those because they're like exactly like the same like ratio of the amino acids in your body. But mostly it's just like kind of a mix between the warrior diet and a paleo diet. If it wasn't on the planet 10,000 years ago, it's not going in my body. Like I don't even like drinking out of plastic bottles. I just got like a crazy water alkalizer machine that I'm starting drinking out of glass bottles. Like I'm just trying to be very, very clean with my body, because I feel like there's been studies done saying that even like regular multivitamins, that like people take them for like 30 years, they even have a shorter life expectancy than people that don't take multivitamins. Like all this stuff's made in labs, and your body isn't used to processing like all this stuff. Like the human diet has changed more in the last 50 years than it has in the last 10,000. So I'm just trying to keep it as natural and clean as possible. And I think that's, probably a lot more helpful than trying to pump your body with a bunch of fancy, trendy chemicals.
Did the photo shoot kind of help you, give you some added motivation earlier on to get your weight down and get all, looking all shredded going into this fight?
I had a bunch of things in a row right then, so it was like I had my fight, and then I had my week to get fat, which was awesome. I just sat on the couch and was like, Donkey Kong,
Buffalo wings.
Buffalo wings, ice cream, it was cool for like a good old week. And then I had to do like, what's it called? And then I went up to, that was the first time right after that, I went up to the Diaz's place. So I lost a little bit of weight when I was out there because it's so oppressively hot in Stockton. And then I had to run around, and I did like pretty much all of like March. I was just from city to city to city to city to city. And then I had to be at all these appearances. So all that stuff I had to get light. And the ESPN body issue was at the very end of it. And so that was kind of like the ending point. They're like, ta-da! That's the end of the diet. And then like I kind of had like 2 weight cuts in the middle of in between these camps. So I let myself get a little bit heavier, and so I could do all my heavy lifting and build up a whole lot more muscle, which is what we usually do after the fight. Like I'll put on weight, and we'll do like lots of heavy lifting and gain muscle. And then as the camp goes on, I start losing my weight, and we'll start going from heavy lifting into more like balance, stability, speed, explosiveness kind of stuff later on. So now I'm already I was 142 this morning. I've been keeping that weight for a while. I like to do my training camp at the exact same weight that I'm going to be when I'm in the cage, because just your body feels different.
Yeah.
If it's at a different weight, and I want to be used to moving around that kind of weight. So yeah, I could make weight tomorrow. I'm ready to fight today, but unfortunately, it's for legal reasons I have to wait.
Yeah. Well, talk about the fight with Sarah and what she presents different than Misha. Sarah's a striker. She's a very disciplined striker. She's what's it called? She doesn't have very many like big mistakes, but she doesn't do anything overly fancy. And she's also been at Greg Jackson's a lot, so I'm sure they've been coming up with a lot of game plans, which is funny because they're like studying all these videos and stuff. And they don't really have that much to look at, and I think it's funny, like the stuff that they are looking at. I've heard a couple things that they're working on in response to what they watched on the video, and I don't even want to get into it, but I find it hilarious. And if she wants to jump on the bicycle and pull a condit on me, I'm prepared for that too. If she wants to stand and bang, I'm prepared for that too. If she wants to go to the ground, I'm prepared for everything. I don't have plans. I am the anti-Greg Jackson. I never walk in with a plan. I walk in with options. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. You feel like, though, if you get her on the ground, it'd be a rather easy submission, maybe easier than even Misha?
You know what? It's only easy after you've already done it, and they're so conscious. The thing is, everyone's so conscious of the armbar that it's not the only tool that I have. It's the first thing that usually comes to mind, but it's not the only thing that I have. And just people being so overly defensive and conscious of it, it opens up so many other things. Like when I was doing judo, I was doing arm bars a lot for a while, and then people were defending it so much that I started doing a lot of pins for a while, and so it could be that, or it could be they're so scared of the takedown that it opens up a lot more of my striking. Actually, I'll be able to catch her. So I think that them focusing so much on one part of my game makes everything else a whole lot easier to do.
The Olympics going on right around your fight, does that give you added motivation?
I really wanted to go to this Olympics so bad. Like, we've been planning it for years, and I just to go just as a spectator and to enjoy it for like what it is, just the whole world coming together, and it's such like a great peace movement that just kind of gives you faith in humanity, and just to see it from the outside instead of from the inside where you have all anxiety and pressure, and seeing it from the outside of is how it's just bringing everyone together. I would love to see that myself, but my fight's pretty much like right around closing ceremony. So, but the cool thing is now that I'm not competing, there's always going to be another Olympics, and I will definitely be there for the next one.
Seagal Lebell talked about with Ariel on there that the guy that's going to go out with you has to be able to kick your butt. Is that true?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, well, no, he would have to make it up for it in some other way. It's just confidence is what I find attractive. So if someone has the same confidence that they would have if they would be able to beat me up, I think that's just kind of what would come along with it. So obviously I'm single, so I have 100% fail rate on all my relationships, so I don't really know what I want yet. And Manny's standing over going like, yeah, I don't know what I want. I'm a girl. Girls don't know what they want.
So what do you look for, though, in a guy, then, besides this confidence?
I'm not looking. I don't know. I have a sense of humor, and someone has to be smart. If someone's dumb, I'll just get bored very quick. I need to talk, and I dropped out. I only finished my freshman year of high school. I'm not very formally educated, but I need to have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
And if you just sit around and quote movies all day long, I'm just like, God, come up with your own joke. So a couple things like that I kind of are doing. And that's to be very trusting, because I spend all my time with a bunch of guys, you know? Like, I hang out with guys all the time. We'll, like, go out to drinks with a bunch of guys, you know, whatever. And I'm going to go do whatever the hell I want.
Yep.
You know, I'm going to hang out with who I want to. And if someone has a problem with it, then, you know, it's just kind of what comes along with it. So I would have to find somebody that's comfortable with my lifestyle. And I have a very unorthodox, kind of weird lifestyle.
Do they have to love martial arts?
No, not at all. I think that not liking martial arts might be a plus, you know. But, you know, on one hand, if someone was like from a similar background, they would understand a lot of things that I go through, you know, that other people wouldn't. But then again, if they weren't from martial arts background, then I know they'd actually like me apart from it, you know. So I told you, I'm a chick. Girls don't know what they want.
It's obviously hard to have a relationship, right? You're so busy, you're getting spread so thin everywhere you go, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of a career girl right now.
Yeah.
I don't really have it wouldn't be fair. I don't have the time to devote to anybody. I kind of have to be like super selfish right now. So I'm just kind of doing my own thing, and you know, it's usually when you're not looking for something that something turns up. So I'm not looking.
Yeah. Speaking of Seagal Lebell, also, Steven Seagal went on the MMA Hour, and Ariel was talking with him, and Steven Seagal said that never happened, and he's senile and delusional, and this and that all that stuff that, you know, happened on set, supposedly, allegedly, didn't happen. What do you think about that?
Well, would you ever admit it? A, and B. I mean, obviously the guy's a liar. I mean, he told everybody he taught Anderson Silva that kick. I mean, seriously, the guy doesn't have a very good track record, I'm so mad that he would say anything like that to Gene, like. Yeah. I don't want to give anyone another quote. I'm going to give you another quote. I would beat the crap out of Steven Seagal, but I bet I could. Hell yeah. You know what? If he says anything bad about Gene to my face, I would be forced to do so. Of course I would. I had to make him crap his pants a second time.
You think his, like, any of his talk in MMA, any of his is real? Do you think he's a legit force at all?
It's Aikido. I mean, Aikido's cool. But I mean, like, who in MMA does Aikido? Who has an Aikido background? So-and-so coming in the cage is a world champion with a background in Aikido. You never heard that once. Have you ever heard that once? It's for a reason. It's because Seagal Lebell would destroy Steven Seagal again, even as old as they are now. If they had like super master division, Gene would still throw it down, man. I'd still put my money on him to this day.
All right. Well, there you have it. We're going to close it out now. Ronda Rousey, thank you so much for the time. We wish you the best of luck. August 18th on Showtime, Ronda Rousey will be taking on Sarah Kaufman, defending her Strikeforce 135-pound title. This video has been brought to you by ProBoxingSupplies.com, where you can get 25% off your purchase now.